Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Gemini. If Gemini is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so Gemini, our card tonight is the Hermit. So you kind of have some maybe kind of introspective energy, maybe kind of going off into your own interior world, or maybe taking a little bit of a break from other people in the physical world, right? Okay, and let's take a look here. What are these tea leaves going to tell us tonight? And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you'd like to leave a comment or hit the like button, I would not be mad at you. Okay. So I'm seeing up here, it looks like we have maybe M-O-M, mom. It could be wow as well. W-O-W, okay? Maybe mom, maybe wow, maybe both, right? And let's keep going. Let's keep turning this a little bit and see maybe if it will give us an idea of what's going on. What does this mean? Okay, so we have the cow. You can see the body here. Here's the head, okay? And kind of the horns up here. It reminds me of a crown. Okay, so it also looks like we have some kind of sea creature with two heads. And it looks like the hoof, the arm, I was trying to think, what is it called? The hand? No. The hoof of the cow kind of resting upon its tail. So I almost wonder if you had a parent that was maybe a Cancer, maybe a Capricorn even. Capricorn, Pisces. Somebody who seems to be, in my mind, I feel like they're very tied to the ocean. I mean, yeah, they're like a sea monster. And I think that's more like their disposition. Angry, almost kind of out of control, like a tsunami, right? Everything's cool. It's fine. You're going about your day, and then this person comes in. They come into the house, and there's yelling and terrible things being said and big emotions, and just kind of like you have to walk on eggshells around them. They're just have a terrible, terrible anger. And here is the cow, and the cow I relate often to Hathor, right? The goddess Hathor, who is a mother, right? She's a middle goddess and consort of I always mix it up. It's not of Horus, right? I'm like, no, it's not Osiris. That's Isis. Yeah, Hathor and Horus. And or do I have that mixed up? Yeah, that's right. That's right. And one of the, I would say, more maternal feeling mothers. Now, there are a lot of mother goddesses, of course, right? And some we know more about than others, especially somebody like Hathor because her complexes still stand, right? And they're beautiful. Go look them up. Go look up the temples, the cult centers of Hathor. And her kind of goofy looking, there are different versions of her, of course, but there's some that she has cow's ears. And they're very cute. I don't know what else to say. There's a very cute depiction. But this is a mother who is loving, unconditionally loving. This is a mother of all. This is a mother who picks you up off the ground and your knees, you know, scraped, and she wipes away all of the debris, and she takes you in, and she, you know, carefully cleans it and bandages you, and you know, sits you down and gives you a cookie or a hug or whatever, or both. And this is how I picture Hathor in my mind. Versus some of the other goddesses, right? There are lots of mother goddesses like, well, Kali, who is sitting right here, would do anything for her kin, right? Furious. Even would swallow demons to protect hers from them. And yeah, and transform herself because of the, you know, the violence, the brutality that she had to enact and also receive, right? And it changed her fundamentally and created a dark mother, right? Well, Hathor is not really that, you know. Although she will do whatever she needs to do, and will show up and is not afraid. Don't mistake this kind of kind and close archetype for somebody who is a pushover or easily overcome, or, you know, is lacks bravery. Not at all. And I see that this mother figure protected you from this sea creature, right? This person who just absolutely, the temper feels just awful, you know, just vitriol being spewed, you know, and mother standing between you and that as a shield, you know. And you know, as you got older, I think this was something that you really, really looked at your mother, at this mother figure, this caretaker, and thought, you know, thank you for doing this. But you also saw how painful that must have been for her, how difficult the situation must have been. And yet she would never let you take the brunt of that, you know, toxicity. And I believe, you know, that this is one of those kind of fundamental lessons in your life. That you can be brave, that you can, you know, do all that you have to do to protect yours, to be there. But you can also remain a person of love. And not just, you know, idle love, but very direct and involved and unconditional. I feel in my mind as I'm saying this, it almost feels like it was like you and her against the world, right? Like this is somebody who, even if, you know, money was short and, you know, if you get into a bad place with this person, they might, you know, make things very hard. You might not have somewhere to stay. They might, you know, make trouble for your mother and her job and, you know, everything else. It's kind of like teetering, this feeling of teetering, but your mother never gave up. And even when likely this dynamic kind of fell apart, because really this is not sustainable, right? she did everything she could to help create a life for you, to give you the things that she could, the things that, you know, maybe she could not give you, she wished for and worked towards. And I believe that this really, really influenced you to be a person of such care, to be a person who probably has done more than you could even imagine for your own children, for your own beloved ones, for your significant other, maybe even for your mother. Although, you know, as I'm looking at this and I get this feeling, and it makes me feel very sad, even just kind of looking over it, is this feeling of not being able to show her the impact that she had on your life. And maybe it is that she transcended young or fairly young, and you hadn't really got your life to where you wanted it to be, to really be like, look at what I've done, Mom. Look at what I did for us. I went out and I, you know, against all odds, got my degree or got this job, and I've been working hard to move up on, you know, and make more money, and I'm going to build us the house you ever, you know, always dreamed of, and this kind of thing. And unfortunately, it feels to me like you weren't able to do that while she was still here with you. And maybe circumstances, you know, out of your control, likely so, created this scenario. And I think it's something that you have lamented. You know, it's something that sometimes you wake up at like 2 a.m. in a cold sweat thinking, you know, what if my mom would have seen my beautiful family, my children, my grandchildren, you know, the things that I have been able to accomplish, you know. And where I have faltered, but picked myself up and kept going, you know. But here's the thing, is I feel her so very present. She's right next to you. I feel you have a soul bond that can't be broken, and you will travel from life to life to life with one another. And there is a sense of waiting for you, right? Being there in all of these moments and knowing and seeing what you have done, what you will do. I understand what it feels like to want to be able to show somebody, well, they're still here with us, manifest in their corporeal bodies, so we can stand face to face and talk and hug and look at what I've done. And you get a confirmation through their reaction, right? I know what it's like to not have that. I know what it's like to feel like you missed the opportunity, that it was a letdown, that you let them down. They'll never know what I've done, how hard I've worked. And in a real way, it's all for them, right? But they know. They're here. We carry them with us in all that we do. Some of us carry a lot of people. You know, most of my family has passed away, you know, at young ages, both my parents, even within a year of each other. And I'm sure, I mean, they passed away when I was young, but you know, as I got older, I'm sure a lot of people thought this lady, this girl, she was a girl then, is never going to amount to anything. She's wild. She's rebellious. She won't listen. You know, always getting in her own way, making trouble for herself. True, 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 all true. And then something happened. You know, I got my life together and somehow, some way, right? And have made a little life for myself. And do you think I don't think about, I wish they knew? Well, I do. I do. And then I remind myself, I know that they're here. I made the promise that I will carry them. And especially because they were so young. And I've had a lot of friends pass that were so young. A husband passed that was so young. And I carry them with me. You know, I live my life as well as I can for them. Well, for my daughter, myself and my husband as well. Shout out to my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. But I feel like in these moments where there is, and I wonder if you have been thinking about this, if you've been sitting here and thinking, I need a sign. You know, I need some kind of something because I feel so alone. I'm this hermit out here. This solitary being in this wide world. There's so many people, you know, walking around, living their lives. And yet I feel like I am on an island by myself. And I need a sign. I need something. I need something. And this is it. You aren't alone. You are not alone. All of those people who you have loved, who have loved you, they're with you. They're always with you. Now, I want to see... We have a magician over here. We have the magic person. And it looks like they are not only juggling, but creating, right? I must imagine, behold, right? You can see with the hand up holding the flame. And we have a flame down here. And we have a person sitting and watching. And I feel like, you know, maybe it is. Maybe you are some kind of entertainer. You're somebody who is captivating, enchanting. People are drawn to you. They like to hear you talk. They like to hear you, you know, tell stories. They like to watch you move and dance and maybe you act or play an instrument or, you know, whatever it is. And this has been so much of your salvation, right? And I feel like this is an urging to go back to your power place, to get back into the things that make you feel like this life has some kind of meaning, right? Get back into, if you know, played guitar for years and you put it down for one reason or another, and now it's like, well, now I'm like, you know, 60 years old and I don't know if I can even remember how to do it or if I'd even care to do it again. But if you can remember that feeling, that transcendent thing that happens when we are in that creative flow, when we are doing something that we enjoy, that we love, that it can transport you, right, to a different place. It could be that you play like video games or, you know, for some reason I was thinking of like Dungeons and Dragons or like, you know, some kind of role playing or whatever it is. You know, like for me, gardening, cooking. I like to sew. That one's hard. I'm diagnosed with ADHD, and so there are some things that I love to do, but they are hard for me. And so I really have to work on, staying in that place with them, staying in the project and my, getting my thing done. And, but yeah, it could be anything. And so, seeking that back out, I think getting back into that place where you feel like you're doing something that not only do you enjoy, but it feels like you've accomplished something, right? If you're like a woodworker, you like to build things. Yeah, you're going to feel good when you get done making those cabinets or bookshelves or, my acquired father, he is a woodworker. He made my daughter a beautiful rocking chair a couple years ago. And to be able to do that, it must be quite fulfilling, So I feel that this is a place where you seek out whatever it is that really does. It fills you up. It recharges your battery. Now we also have the number 3 up here. And that does seem important because we have people kind of reaching out towards it. Now I want to see if we can find some clarity about what does that number 3 have to do with, or what is kind of the vibe that is surrounding it, because it feels like a yearning. I'd like to think maybe it's like the Trinity or some kind of, belovedness. Of course, we have like the 3 of Cups. There is a sense of abundance and love and flourishing and, all this kind of thing. Or it could be that you're finding maybe some kind of meaning in the work, right? Like the 3 of Discs. And that might be it. That might be like, yeah, come back in here, get to work, doing something that you love. So we're going to pick 3 cards. Okay, and it says romance. Okay, so it is. There is something, beloved. And let's see. Versatility. Okay. Organization. Whew, okay. All right. Romance, versatility, organization. Yeah. So now I don't know every Gemini there is on this planet, but yeah, I am mothering a Gemini. My daughter is a solar Gemini, and I have some other family members. I know quite a few Geminis, really, and you all can be a little bit chaotic. Let me just say that. You can be a little bit chaotic in the nicest way possible, because it's lovely and charming in a lot of ways. I always think of kind of almost that, do you remember that archetype of the manic pixie? Is that what it's called? Manic pixie girl. I don't really love that so much. It feels, I don't know. It feels a little demeaning a bit. I don't know. But there is that kind of, I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm kind of, my life seems a little chaotic at times, maybe a little manic. Starting things, not finishing them, maybe kind of losing things quite often, looking for the key. Where are the keys? Where's my other shoe? But I do feel like there is a movement towards, getting a little more organized. Kind of maybe even cleaning out your life a bit. Decluttering, kind of finding some systems for yourself, reestablishing a routine that works for you, okay? At the same time, we have versatility, we also have romance. So I wonder if there is maybe some kind of relationship where it's getting more serious, or maybe you're married and you've lived together for 30 years, but you know, you're in one of those places in your relationship where you've grown apart to some degree. Maybe you're kind of misaligned, you're maybe bickering about how things are running in the house, or whatever it is. And I feel like you're coming to a place where you're more willing to maybe compromise, be a little more versatile, change some of the ways that you have kind of been living. You get really, I mean, if you're like me, I figure out something that really works for me and I'm like, okay, I'm going to stick with this. And I don't always realize that the way that I need something done, or at least I imagine it has to be done this way, and it really benefits me, it might not be so beneficial to, you know, my partner. Or, and the big thing for us, time management, right? The way I do things is a lot different than the way my husband does. And so sometimes I have to remember I need to be a little more versatile. I need to sometimes stop, as he says, dilly-dallying around, right? I need to get to the thing and get it done, instead of kind of doing 15 things at once and then, you know, finally finishing. And so maybe this is something about kind of getting on the same page, being a little more flexible. But above all, there seems to be quite a belovedness. So if you're married to them, if they're your long-term partner, if you've been dating for a while, or if this is a new relationship, you know, I feel that you are willing to open your heart. You're willing to change some things, try some different things out, because you do love them. And that surpasses all in this situation. So that's a really good feeling. I like that. Now we're going to go over to the plate and see. We have the snail right up here. So kind of maybe a message of slowing down. We also have the number 16. Yeah, and we have a person, they look like they're actually riding on a snail here. So we have one up here, we have one down here. So I do feel like there is maybe this kind of mastering this tempering of self, this slowing of self. Now, I want to point this out because this is actually pretty interesting to me. We have up here Hermes, or Mercury, okay? And so Mercury is, it does rule within Gemini, also my sign, Virgo. And this is the communicator, this is the messenger of the gods. We think of him within alchemy as quicksilver. So being quite fluid, versatile. But this is also a being of great connection and romance and love and amour, right? And so it says to me that where you feel like you just want to kind of, you know, flow freely and go wherever it is that the wind takes you, all of that is good and well, but slowing yourself down so that you're making more mindful choices, right? I think that sometimes it might be that your instinct is just to fall into the love. Just let it overrun you, and you just go with it, whatever your feelings and sensations, and you know, you just are freely there. And that's an amazing quality, absolutely. But sometimes when we have something to accomplish, a goal in mind, we're working with somebody else, we must be mindful. And sometimes we have to slow ourselves down. We have to pump the brakes a little bit, right? And so I do think that this is kind of one of those moments where instead of going all in, you know, as soon as the feeling arises and you're like, all my eggs in this basket, right? It is taking it slower, tempering self, allowing yourself to kind of, you know, let the thing breathe. Let yourself anticipate. Let it get to a point where, you know, you are fully aware and in control of self, but you are also, you know, right on the cusp of that kind of ecstatic moment. And so, yeah, I feel like this is really ends up being quite a beautiful thing. It really does. It feels almost like intoxicating. You know, I feel like there is just a desire, really, an attraction, a desire. And it feels nice. It feels nice for it to kind of linger a little bit instead of just like fully getting in there and then, you know, and then it kind of, it's over. That impulse, that big, you know, sensation, it kind of hits its peak, and then, yeah, a little bit of entropy starts happening, right? Things start kind of maybe descending or coming back to kind of a more, you know, a little bit more of a low. But I think it, you know, if you take your time, you'll be able to enjoy it more. Now, we're going to look at the gratitude affirmation cards. And these are from Purple Canyon. I'm going to go ahead and flip through. I'm going to stop where it feels right. And it says, Song of Freedom. I am grateful for my personal rights and liberties, for the freedom to soar through life with the wings of my independent thoughts and decisions. Practice. Give thanks for the freedom of choice, speech, action, and thought you have in this time and age. Yes. You know, I sometimes think like, I'm so lucky I was born when I was born, because I would be in trouble being, even just doing readings like this could probably at some point in history get me in a lot of trouble. So I am very thankful for the freedom to be able to practice my arts, right? All right, Gemini, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free. Also, if you would like to leave a comment, please do. I want to hear from you, absolutely. And if you are new to the channel, definitely shout it out in the comment section. Other than that, I think that's it. All right. I love you. Take care of yourself. Thank you, everybody, for the birthday wishes. You all made it such a wonderful, wonderful birthday. And I love you. Good night.